Look at that shiny new community center across the street, with its glass walls and fancy coffee shop. It's built where our town's only public library stood for 80 years until a corrupt school board decided it was worth more as real estate than as a place for kids to dream. They thought they could bulldoze our history, pocket the profits, and silence anyone who stood in their way. They didn't count on me, Eleanor Grayson, a 68-year-old retired teacher with a knack for digging up secrets. The ringleader, Douglas Carver, is now facing 5 years in prison, and I'm about to tell you how we took him down. But first, what would you do if someone tried to erase your town's heart for a quick buck? And where are you reading this from? I want this story to echo across the country. My story starts in Willow Springs, a small town in West Virginia where the library was more than a building, it was our soul. Built in 1942, the Willow Springs Library had weathered floods, recessions, and wars. Its oak shelves held first editions, kids' drawings, and the dreams of every child I taught in my 40-year career. When I retired in 2020, I volunteered there, helping kids with homework and reading to preschoolers. But in 2022, the school board, led by Douglas Carver, a slick real estate developer with a smile like a used car salesman, announced plans to sell the library land to a developer for a community hub. The catch? The hub was a luxury retail complex, and the library would be replaced with a tiny room in the school basement, open 3 hours a week. Douglas showed up at the town hall meeting in a tailored suit, flashing PowerPoint slides about economic revitalization and modernizing Willow Springs. He claimed the library was a money pit, costing $200,000 a year to maintain. I stood up, my teacher's voice cutting through his jargon. "Mr. Carver, this library serves 300 kids a week. Where will they go when you turn it into a coffee shop for rich folks?" His smile didn't waver. "Mrs. Grayson, progress requires sacrifice. I'm sure you understand." I understood. Allride was sacrificing our kids for his bank account. That night, I smelled a rat, and I wasn't about to let it gnaw through our town's history. I started digging. The county clerk's office was a goldmine of public records deeds, contracts, and school board minutes. I found that Carver's firm, Pinnacle Properties, was the buyer's consultant, earning a 10% commission on the $5 million sale. Conflict of interest? You bet. But that was just the start. Carver had pushed through a budget that slashed library funding, claiming repairs were unsustainable, yet the library's roof was solid and maintenance costs were closer to $50,000 a year. He'd lied to justify the sale. I shared my findings at the next board meeting, holding up the budget report. "Mr. Carver, why does your firm profit from a deal that kills our library?" The room buzzed. His face tightened, but he brushed me off. "Mrs. Grayson, your accusations are baseless. This is about the town's future." He underestimated me. I taught middle school for decades. I knew how to handle bullies. I rallied the troops: Sarah Jenkins, a librarian who'd cataloged every book in that building, my former student, Mike Torres, now a local reporter, and Clara Monroe, a retired accountant with a nose for crooked numbers. We met in my living room, spreading documents across my coffee table like a war room. Clara uncovered the first bombshell. Carver had diverted $150,000 from school funds to consulting fees for Pinnacle Properties. Mike dug into Carver's campaign donors' big checks from the developer, Horizon Group, who wanted the library land. Sarah found emails between Carver and Horizon's CEO, planning to clear the library obstacle before the sale. This wasn't just greed, it was a conspiracy. Carver fought back. Anonymous letters appeared in mailboxes, calling me a bitter retiree, stirring trouble. The local paper, cozy with the board, ran a story questioning my mental stability. Then came a cease and desist letter, accusing me of defamation. I laughed. Carver thought he could scare a woman who'd faced down hormonal 8th graders. But he got dirty. One night, my car tires were slashed, and Troublemaker was spray-painted on my garage. The sheriff, Carver's golf buddy, called it random vandalism. I wasn't buying it. Mike installed security cameras, and we kept digging. Clara found a hidden account where Carver funneled library maintenance funds to his firm. I took it to the state auditor's office, who launched an investigation. The school board pushed for a vote to sell the library in 2 weeks, so we went nuclear. Mike pitched the story to a Charleston news station, framing it as small-town corruption versus A teacher's fight for kids. Sarah organized a protest, 200 parents, kids, and seniors chanting outside the board office, holding signs like "Save our library." I spoke at the rally, voice cracking as I held up a photo of my students reading in the library. "This is what they're stealing from our kids." The crowd roared. Carver retaliated, filing a lawsuit claiming I'd incited a public disturbance. But he'd miscalculated. The state auditor's report dropped the day before the vote. Carver had embezzled $200,000, and Horizon Group had bribed him with a $50,000 consulting contract. The board meeting was chaos, standing room only, TV cameras rolling. Carver, sweating through his suit, pitched the sale as essential for growth. I stood, clutching my evidence. "Douglas Carver is stealing from our kids to line his pockets. Here's the proof: embezzlement, bribes, and lies." I handed the auditor's report to the board chair. The room erupted. Carver shouted, "This is slander," but his voice drowned in boos. Then two state police officers stepped forward. "Mr. Carver, you're under arrest for embezzlement and bribery." Handcuffs clicked as cameras flashed. He glared at me, hissing, "You'll regret this." I smiled. "No, Douglas. You will." Carver got 5 years and $250,000 in restitution. The library sale was scrapped, and the board resigned in disgrace. The town raised $100,000 to restore the library, now thriving with new programs. I started the Willow Springs Literacy Fund to support rural libraries. Mike's story won a journalism award, and Sarah runs the library like a general. I sit there every Saturday, reading to kids, knowing we saved a piece of our town's heart. If you've got a story about fighting local corruption, share it below. And stick around next. I'll tell you how a single mom stopped a shady mayor from turning her park into a casino. You won't believe what she found.